Hello, my name is Tom, and this is a quick demo on creating a new project in a new issue in a new shard. So this time around, this is implemented in a much more generic way, such that we can rely on the project or group full path, and it will find the correct shard using a round action. I've also implemented a generic module to set and read the top level namespace shard and also the top level namespace ID. And I've also, for observability, to make it easier to debug, I've also shown the default, the context shard on the develop performance bar as well. So you can see here for the lost and found, this is indeed created in the shard1 shard. So if we go to another group that is created in the default shard, it should say default. So let's create a new project for this lost and found group. We'll just create a name for it. And it will be created. If we go back to the lost and found group, because now this is setting to read from shard1 as a global context, it will correctly find the projects as well within the Ajax call, which is great. So we can also create issues as well. So let's make a new issue. And this will create an issue in the shard1 as well. And also I've gone ahead and added issue assignments as well. At the moment we can only assign yourself. Unfortunately, the assignment for other issue assignees doesn't work, probably because this is not using full path, as in the URL to request it doesn't have the group path, so it doesn't know to find the correct assignees or the group members for that. So the only other thing that was not implemented is the ability to comment on this issue in a new shard. Unfortunately, this is a bit harder to implement because the nodes table is polymorphic. So because we can't shard merge request set, for example, and nodes is also on merge requests, we can't really shard the nodes table yet. So let me briefly show you the implementation of this. So how this works is that in routes we have a constrainer, which is this constrainer, which basically finds a group that has that path, and if it has that path, then it says, yep, it matches that path. And it's the same thing for our project as well. And what we're doing here is basically going find the group, and find by full path is shard aware, by the way. If it finds that group, then what we'll do is we'll get the root ancestor out and set it as that top level namespace. And by the way, I've modified the find by full path to preload the root ancestors so that it actually fetches the root ancestor in the right shard. Otherwise it will attempt to find root ancestor in a default shard, which we know doesn't work. So after we've set the top level namespace, then we come back to the application controller, which has a round action shard read, and we read the top level shard, and then that's how we know to use the right shard for that one. Interestingly, we can also use sharded read as well and just assume sharded read, but unfortunately there's places where even on GET request we write to the database. For example, we store the markdown cache for a particular group description. So yeah, thank you.